Hello, my High Priestess 333 family. This is High Priestess Key coming to do well. I don't know why I always be wanting to say in the place to be. I always be trying to rhyme. Anyways, family, I am here to do your full moon lunar eclipse reading or moon energy, I guess, explanation or give you some insight into what the ancestors were brought to me. Okay. So y'all know when I deep dive in reference of, what's the planetary alignment? You know how I am, right? And I also tap in with the true sidereal. So y'all know in the verdict, right? So those are my favorite astrologies to tap into when we're talking about um, planetary alignment and spiritual astrology as well, right? So that spiritual astrology comes from our ancestors, right? So it's not going to be the same of what everyone else may tell you about because they're looking at the Western or the tropical, and not to say that that's wrong. It's whatever resonates with you, all right? So for the true sidereal, though, in the verdict, it is definitely a full moon and a full moon that will be on the 13th going into the 14th. I'm looking at my notes. So if you see me looking to the side, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my notes. It's a full moon that takes place in the true sidereal. It'll be between Leo and Virgo. Okay. But in the verdict, it'll be sidereal in the Leo, okay? It'll be Uttara um, Falguni Nakshatra, okay? That's in the verdict. On the 14th at 2:54 a.m. in the morning, okay? Eastern time, all right? So it'll be primely pretty much at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:54, all right? And March is eclipse season for us, family. Okay, so we have a partial solar eclipse on the next full moon. So be ready for that one as well. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, the next full moon, right? I'm sorry, that's the next new moon. My fault. This is the full moon right here. So this full moon comes with a total lunar eclipse. And a lot of you probably wondering, well, what's the difference from between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse? It's a huge difference, okay? And I'm going to show you what is written in reference of the difference, okay? And spiritually, how you should be tapping in reference of this energy because it is very, very strong. Moon element is always in reference of the shadow. I deal with a lot of moon element as I am a moon, okay? That is my shift, that is my energy, that is my powerhouse, okay? And a lot of you have that in reference of your powerhouse as well. So you should be knowing who you truly are and when to truly tap in, all right? This aspect of the full moon, as I have shared with you guys 50 million times over as well on my All in the Cards channel. The full moon is definitely also a time in reference of release, reassess. You can usher in things too, right? But it's good in reference of banishing, releasing, reassessing, transforming. And this is also good when it comes with that extra oof, which is that lunar eclipse energy. Now is the time for you to be really looking at, especially with it being in Leo and Virgo, right? A lot in Virgo. Virgo is that energy in reference of you following all the rules, right? It's the first element in the spiritual astrology about your mind, okay? It's all mental. This is about everything connects, right? The Virgo energy is definitely about being divine, okay? So with this lunar eclipse coming in that energy as well as that Leo, and the Leo is about love and healing. So you connect all of that together. It's definitely a great time to do your shadow work. And you know, I'm shadow work queen over here with shadow work sessions I've been doing for over 4 years, teaching it, right? But not only that, living it, right? Doing my shadow work, reflecting on the things in my life that have not served my highest good. And I just put out and pour out my energy into shadow work sessions, which is hundreds of videos that I have. I used to have them here, but I removed them because they were my least watched because people don't want to tap in with themselves either, even though that is the way to your higher self is to go within first. So within, then without, right? And your internal vibrations control your external vibrations. So you must tap in with self first. And that comes through your meditation, that comes through your honoring your ancestors, tapping in with them first. That is your first line of defense before tapping in with any other deities and so forth. Those are the people that were here on this earth, and came before you to make way for you as well. Known and unknown, right? So this lunar eclipse is, eclipses. First, let me start out by saying eclipses are looked at as, omens and so forth. They are transformational, family, right? That's why the solar one, they always, and I have a video, I have a clip for you guys to view. Let me go ahead and put it up so you can see. Let me see if I can do it like that. Okay, yeah. This is the forecast that I was looking at. Okay, but this right here is the difference in the solar eclipse that you should be paying attention to. Okay, so this gives you the definitions in reference of the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, and then the solar eclipse occurs. But the lunar eclipse is what we're going to be in. So that is when the earth passes between the moon and the sun, and then the lunar eclipse occurs. Okay, so the lunar eclipse is the one that we'll have on the 14th, family. Okay, so the shadow of the earth hides the moon partially or fully during the lunar eclipse for a particular time. All right, so it happens 2 times in a year during the nighttime, and during the nighttime. So the lunar eclipse, family, is definitely hours versus the solar eclipse is a few minutes. So that's what the ancestors is trying to convey to us, is that you have more time, and it's during the night too. So remember, the moon comes out at night, right? So this is lunar. So this is lunar is noon is moon. Okay. So the lunar eclipse will not harm the naked eye either, because you can look at the moon, right? And it's good when you do the moon bathing, just like the sun bathing, but they tell you don't look at the sun, that which is the solar. So that's why they tell you the solar eclipse is harmful to the naked eye. So always use protective glasses. That's because of that bright light. But the lunar, it doesn't. You can see it directly by using without using any protective glasses, and you'll be able to see this one as well. That night if you go out. Okay, it's definitely something that you can, you'll be able to see. You can see it pretty much. Okay. It also gives you information over here about the solar. It occurs once in 18 months and during a daytime. So that's the difference in the solar and the lunar, if you are always wanting to know what is the difference. I also put this up for you guys to kind of see a visual of the difference as well in the solar and the lunar. Okay, because with me, I like to, with High Priestess Key, that's what this channel is definitely about. Going into our moon phases and looking at our eclipses and so forth, and also tapping into the astrology and in the true sidereal in the VEDIC. But this one is to explain to you in a visual how it actually looks with the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the sun and the earth. The shadow cast by the moon causes an eclipse. All right. So if you look here, you can see the sun. That is where the moon is, but you see the moon is not in the shadow of this one, the solar. So that's why you can't really. You need to wear the glasses and so forth. And it also gives you the explanations of the partial and the total, and how that is affected based off of the shadow cast by the moon causing the eclipse with the solar. Okay, now the one that we're moving into is the lunar, which is this one here. About a lunar eclipse occurs when the earth passes between the sun and the moon. So you see, this is the difference. See, before, this is the sun and the earth, and the moon is here, but the moon is already past the sun and the earth in the lunar, and it's in the shadow. It's in the shadow of earth, and you see the word shadow, right? So we know the moon is all about the shadow. And what is the shadow? That is the deception. That is the darkest times, the darkest energy, right? So there'll be a lot of dark things that will be happening, and it sits in reference of the time period of the sun and Mars trine, as well as the sun conjuncts with Saturn in the true sidereal on the 12th. So you have a lot of fiery, dark energy. Your ancestors, it's going to be a lot of things that are going to be happening that are going to be dark. I mean, I just have to be truthful, okay? Because that shadow of, where the moon is and where it sits, like you see here in the visual, the shadow cast by the earth causes an eclipse, okay? So it kind of shows you the energy here, and then it gives you the ombre that is behind it, and then that's actually trying to show you this one, which is, I think you pronounce it penumbra, which is behind it, or kind of like sitting on the side this time. But you see it has that shadow to the moon that's here, versus here it sits in the front of Earth, okay? So you can see it, how the sun poses that light on the moon, versus here with the lunar it doesn't. So the moon is in the shadow, okay? And that is truly what moon's energy is, okay? So this is just one explanation to show you the difference in those elements. Of course, you know what the full moon is, right? You know that full moon energy brings in growth, in a lot of areas of your life. You can usher in a lot of things with the full moon, not only just banish, but you can, usher in love and money and all those things too, because the moon energy is very strong, family. It is something you should be utilizing. That's why I always do the moon element phases and things of that sort, the energy readings here. So you can allow the ancestors to tell you how to function and what to really utilize in reference to the planetary alignments with this energy, okay? Because everything is energy. And with it being in Virgo, you can look at the aspects of Virgo. Most Virgos, they're organized, they want to get stuff together. That's what you may be doing. You may want to be cleaning things up, right? Things that have been in the shadow, things that you haven't really paid attention to. You need to be utilizing and doing these things. I haven't even pulled cards, but I'm just telling you intuitively what the ancestors want us to know. So another part of it is, with this, it's all about great health. So you could be focusing on your health during this lunar eclipse as well. The things that are in the shadow, the things that you need to clean up, maybe detoxing your body, detoxing your mind, digital detoxing, work on your spiritual growth, all of these things, work on your the things that's in the shadow that you haven't tapped into, the things that you need to reflect on, right? The shadow things, those are the things that we suppress. Sometimes the shadow and the shadow work people don't want to do because it's the part of us that's not so great. It's the darkness, all right? So now is the time to focus on that. How can you change and do something to heal thyself, or to tap into that shadow during this time that can elevate your mind? You see what I'm saying? So now is the time for us to be grinding, okay? That full moon element, family, the things that you can work with is myrrh, okay? So utilize your myrrh. I have myrrh incense, myrrh, like frankincense and myrrh. Use that type of, a herb or incense, whatever you're going to do to tap in. Saffron, okay, goes with the full moon. And you want to definitely tap in with utilizing the crystals of like red jasper, amazonite, moonstone, black kyanite. These are the type of stones you want to utilize. Now, as I told you, it's in Leo and it's in Virgo. Virgo is all about the first universal law. Okay, so I have to give you the universal laws because y'all know I love that aspect of how we are governed, okay, on this universe, on this planet. So the universal law for Virgo energy that goes with this shadow is that all is mental, which is the first universal law. So you need to be working on your mental. You need to be working on the things that you think about, your emotions and things of that sort that make you think, maybe overthink, or maybe make you feel stuck, or maybe, you emotionally need to cut some things off. And it's all about the things that you've been thinking about. See, this is the time, okay? This is a good time for you to teach yourself some new things or to learn some new things. This is a good time for you to, because Virgos are earth elements. So now it's a good time for you to ground thyself. okay? In grounding thyself is to also tap into thyself, right? Maybe do those earth element things, such as work with your herbs, drink your herbs, right? Maybe grow some things, plant some things, put your hand in the soil, put your feet in the dirt. These are the things that can help you ground yourself and utilize some of those elements in the earth that I was telling you about with the crystals that I told you about. I'm doing some things at the end of this month with the new moon, but I'm definitely going to tap in with this total lunar eclipse. But you know what I'm gonna do? My shadow work by journaling how I truly feel, the things that I want to release. I'm gonna do a burning bowl ceremony. I'm gonna be doing meditation, and I'm gonna be honoring my ancestors. These are the things that I'm gonna do. Follow suit. That Leo energy is the law of compensation. So you want to be rewarded for the things that you release, right? You want to receive that love, and you want to put it out to the ethers and to your ancestors as well. So honor your ancestors, show them love. Put some love out on your altars. Okay, this is a good time. And also, Leo energy is about healing, about opening your heart. Maybe you need to shift some things in your mindset with that Virgo energy, and open your heart up and love thyself. Show self love, right? So these are the things you need to be doing. The law of compensation is definitely also that energy of maybe stop spending so much. Maybe write you a budget down right now to release the things that you no longer need, right? Maybe cut some things back right now, right? That's that organization and the change in financial situation with that Leo and Virgo coming together with the laws of the universe and how we're governed. Okay. So these are just the things. It's about using good judgment, having good discernment right now with that Leo element. It's all about listening. Okay, because Leo, sometimes that is a challenge for them, okay, as well as Virgos. Virgos feel like they are the teacher, which they are, but sometimes this is good for the teacher to learn as well. All right. So with that Leo element, it's time to listen. It's time to work on root chakra as well. With that Virgo element, it's time to work on now if you want to do any chakra work with the Virgo, work on the, let's see, crown chakra. Okay, so that indigo energy. All right, so the crown and the root. Okay, that's two of the main ones. You always want to work on the root first and work your way up. Now, if everything's fine with your chakras, that's fine. Do the other things, meditation, root, journaling. Do the things that can help you in reference of this full moon. All right, in this lunar eclipse. All right, now, to tell you in reference of the lunar eclipse and the energy that is going to be here with this lunar eclipse in Leo and Virgo. This also is a time where it's like it's going to be a lot of things that are maybe make you a little sensitive right now to some things. Okay, so you want to pay attention to that, but then with that you need to have a little patience with self. Pay attention to your daily commitments and things that you're committed to, right? And remember that it's about the mind, the mental. Don't allow your mind to be overtaxed at this time. Take you some mental breaks, right? Take some time and rest your mind, right? Work on your mind, your body, and your soul in reference of cleansing. I'm just gonna keep it, short with the full moon lunar, because I pretty much done read it down, right, without even having to pull any ancestor cards and anything like that. But I will pull some because that's my thing over here, to pull ancestor cards with you guys. So let me get my ancestor cards out and let's see what's the main message that the ancestors want us to know about this full moon total lunar eclipse, and then I'll pull us the outcome card. Okay, so let's see what the ancestors want us to know. As a collective, ancestors, show us in the cards as a collective. For those that see this video and hear my voice, please show us in the cards in 3-card message, ancestors. What is the message for us in reference of this total lunar eclipse in the full moon in Leo and Virgo that is coming? Ancestors, right here, the full moon energy. Ashe. All right, so the ancestors definitely telling us it's time to tap in. Some of my Aries, this element may affect you very strong, because I have Aries element here, I have Virgo element here, and I have it's gonna be some balance. It's gonna be a violent time too, okay, because of that shadow. energy. Right now, that Aries energy that came out, okay, because I have Aries, but this is also goes back to Phobos and Neptune energy of what I have here, as well as Lepidus, which all that energy is very strong energy, okay? It goes back to the messenger of greed. So a lot of greed we're going to see right now when it comes to earthly possessions, okay, as a whole, okay, as a collective, as within the world, and what you'll see, going on. It'll be a lot of people, it'll be a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of violence that we'll see that'll be piped up during this moon element, because it's the shadow, and it's the darkness. Okay, so it's gonna bring out the energy of the daemons. Okay, and that's pretty much demons. Okay, and I just have to keep it that way, but that's what the ancestors is showing in the message. Okay, some of you is going to be all about the law of cause and effect. That energy is about what you put out is what you get back. So you need to pay attention to the things and what you're doing around this time, as well as what others are doing. Okay, right now is the time of karma. Okay, so some things that may have happened in the past will spin the block, okay, for you and others. And it could be around earthly possessions, it could be around legal situations. I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot going on in reference of finances, business, communication. It's going to be a lot of sacrifices that I'm seeing that people are going to have to make at this time when it comes to these things. Just watch your front and your back right now, family. Don't be, I hate to say it, but don't be doing a lot of maneuvering in the evening, all right? Especially during that full moon, that's with that total eclipse, because that eclipse gives it a whole nother spin of energy. We know Aries energy is always fire, so that's aggressive, right? Aries doesn't back down, right? So any Aries, or if you have Aries in your chart, I have an Aries in Chiron, so that lets me know I need to be doing a lot of extra work on that wounded healer. You see how that is? So tap in to your energy. I have Virgo here, and I also have Leo here. So those are the two elements. That's why I say ancestors don't make no mistakes, family. The ancestors don't make no mistakes. So this is very, very earthly fire element. Work with those two. Work with those two. And if you are water, work with water, because that is the moon. Okay. So this is the elements that are here. This is what the ancestors is showing. But not only this, in reference of those that want to succeed right now, you're going to have to make some sacrifices in reference of your living conditions and your home lives. Okay. But you can be successful at this time in your finances. You're just going to have to stay headstrong. You're going to have to put your mind to it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make sure that you're going to have to continue to stay positive and have faith. The message that just came through on my phone is one of God's messages, so I will end it with this. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify the Most High, which is in the higher realms. All right, that's how I'm gonna leave it. And that's also a message from Matthews 5:16. I just spinned it, but that is something that just came across my phone. I normally have it set for like Psalms, because I love Psalms, right? But that is definitely something that comes out. I definitely feel the need to speak positivity and the affirmation that I got from Brother Yosef over you guys. My words create my world, and my world is bright. So as I speak, let there be light. My words create my world. My world is so bright. So as I speak, let there be light. My words create my world. My world is bright. So as I speak, let there be light. And so it is, and it shall be. In all of the names of my ancestors, unknown and known. Ashe. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful full moon in the lunar eclipse. I'll see you guys soon. This is High Priestess Key 333 signing off. Peace, family.